Welcome to SHOWOFF SHOWDOWN! In this series, the fighters are called SHOWOFFs, and this is the series for the SHOWOFF SHOWDOwn! Now let's meet the SHOWOFFs for tonight's showdown, shall we? Tonight, we have an enchanting battle between two dazzling female genies who will make you want to rub your lamps. That's right, Ninjini VS Shantae, the battle that'll make your wishes come true. I put links to the analysis on both characters in the description below. Now without further ado, it's time for the SHOWOFF to Showdown!
Any last wishes?
Fight!
Well, my wish certainly came true.
Now let's discuss how and why Ninjini wins this magical showdown. I will start off by stating one of the main and most obvious facts in this fight. Shantae is only half genie, while Ninjini is a pure or full genie. Try saying that 9 times fast. While it is true that Shantae has been able to take on full-fledged genies before, such as Nega Shantae, even after Shantae lost her powers, however, Ninjini is still clearly a much more powerful fighter, especially since she's a member of the Giants, who are said to be the very first and some of the strongest Skylanders who have ever lived. Now, being a giant, Ninjini is pretty big, obviously. How big is she, you may ask? Well, let's compare her height to, say, Spyro the Dragon, for example. Spyro stands about 4 feet tall, so if we put the two side by side, we can estimate Ninjini's height to be roughly about 16 feet tall. That's 4 times taller than Spyro. You know, I've always liked large women. Now, Shantae's height is about 5'8", so therefore, Ninjini is almost 3 times taller than Shantae. Now, it is true that Shantae has faced much larger opponents in the past. However, Ninjini has also faced much larger opponents than herself, such as the Archean Robot Warriors and Titans. Besides, as we all know, size doesn't matter. Now, the only advantages that Shantae has over Ninjini are speed and arsenal. Shantae is faster, more agile, and has better maneuverability than Ninjini, and she has a much larger variety of attacks, powers, and abilities, and she has a limited but great amount of magic items in her arsenal. Now, we could even out this category by giving Ninjini some of the magic items from the Skylander series, but not only would Ninjini probably need prep time in order to use them, but Ninjini doesn't really need them because she has so many more advantages over Shantae. For starters, let's discuss their basic weaponry. Both genies have 3 main choices of weapons or attacks. Shantae's 3 main weapons are her ponytail, which she uses to whip her enemies, her pirate cutlass sword, and her pirate pistol. While Ninjini's 3 main weapons are her wish blades, which are basically magically enchanted katanas, her magical orbs, which she can throw at her enemies and perform a magical juggling act, and last but not least, her genie bottle, which she can use to hide inside, fire magical homing explosive rockets at her enemies, and create a magical explosion while coming out. Let's compare their basics, shall we? While Shantae's ponytail is strong enough to break through solid stone and metal, unfortunately and ironically, her ponytail can be cut off just like normal hair, even with tools as simple as scissors, a jigsaw, or even a goat chewing on it. In fact, Shantae was quite overprotective about her hair in the Pirate's Curse video game after the bad guys threatened to cut it off. Now, if Shantae's hair can be cut off that easily, then I think it's safe to say that a pair of magical enchanted katana blades are more than capable of cutting it off just as easily, if not better. Same goes for Shantae's sword. I highly doubt the regular cutlass sword can match 2 magical katanas, once again. Now, as for long-range attacks, Shantae's pistol may have unlimited ammunition, but the bullets do very little damage to her enemies. So I think it's safe to say that Ninjini's magical orbs and explosive bottle rockets are easily stronger, no question. Therefore, Ninjini has a superior basic attacks in both short and long-range weaponry. Now let's discuss who is more skilled and experienced. While Shantae has been trained by her friend Bolo and is fairly skilled in combat, on the other hand, not only is Ninjini a highly skilled ninja, but she has been a great magical ancient warrior ever since before she became a Skylander. Now as for experienced, Shantae is only about 16 years old and is not as experienced as a full-fledged genie, while on the other hand, Ninjini has been training in combat for over 10,000 years. After a dark sorceress, who is greatly jealous of Ninjini, imprisoned her inside a magical genie bottle for all of eternity, Ninjini trained within the solitude of her bottle for thousands of years until she became so powerful that the bottle could no longer contain her, and through sheer force of will, she broke free of the magical prison that once contained her.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
Now, not only does Ninjini have clearly superior fighting skill and literally thousands of years more fighting experience than Shantae, but most of the foes that Shantae faces in her games are the exact same types of enemies that Ninjini has faced in the Skylander series. Pirates, monsters, you name it. Ninjini has essentially fought everything that Shantae has faced and more. Ninjini has even achieved much greater feats than Shantae. For example, Ninjini is one of the 8 giants who saved all of Skylands by taking out the entire Archean robot army and bringing down the entire evil Archean empire. In fact, Ninjini is one of the 2 giants who ultimately defeated the king of Arcus by severing his arm and removing the source of his power, the Iron Fist of Arcus, and ultimately brought down the Archean's rule to an end. Tree Rex was the second. Now, if you thought that was hardcore and epic, then you should see what Ninjini and the Skylanders have done 10,000 years later in the future. Okay, I think I've said enough. Now let's discuss strength. Now this is no contest. Ninjini easily triumphs in physical strength. While Shantae has proven to be quite strong, there is no way she could possibly compete with the strength of a giant. Remember, the giants are capable of doing great heavy-duty things that other Skylanders can't, such as casually lifting and throwing huge boulders and artillery bombs, pushing over massive stone pillars to make paths, and giants like Ninjini are even strong enough to lift and pull huge pirate ships and even whole entire islands towards them. Now that's tremendous. How much does an island weigh on average? Well, maybe this should be enough information for you. Now, the only thing Shantae has that could slightly match this kind of strength is her elephant form, which is strong enough to smash through huge boulders and walls of stone and metal. However, that is something that giants like Ninjini can do casually with little effort, so not even Shantae's elephant form is a match for Ninjini's overpowering strength. Now finally, let's discuss durability. Once again, this is no contest. Ninjini clearly has the superior durability. First reason being is that armor and defense is not Shantae's strongest suit. In fact, speaking of suits, most of Shantae's outfits, such as her dancer outfit, may increase her striking power, but also decreases her durability, probably due to how much of her body is left exposed. Now, it is true that Shantae has once taken a cannonball to the face and it only knocked her out for a while. However, not only does Ninjini have more than enough strength and power to easily surpass that, but Ninjini has taken far worse, more devastating, and deadly attacks than Shantae has. Ninjini is so durable, she can casually tank explosions, including magical ones, she can survive being pummeled and or crushed by colossal Archean robot warriors, and believe it or not, Ninjini can even survive powerful attacks from godlike beings such as the Darkness and Super Chaos. This makes Ninjini so durable that she can tank pretty much everything that Shantae has to throw at her. Now, of course, because Shantae is much faster and more agile than Ninjini, and she has a much larger arsenal and variety of attacks, powers, and abilities, Shantae will be able to last for quite a while against Ninjini, and she will definitely put up quite a fight and give Ninjini a good run for her money. But sadly, all that Shantae will be doing is delaying the inevitable, and there will eventually come an opportunity for Ninjini to take Shantae out. And the most likely way Ninjini would do that is by using her Soul Gem ability, also known as the Dazzling Enchantment. While inside her bottle, Ninjini can release a cloud of magical smoke that puts nearby enemies into a trance. Anyone who comes in contact with this foggy spell will immediately become hypnotized and stunned, leaving them wide open to get diced up by Ninjini's wishblades. Now, can Shantae be affected by this? While Shantae is very young and naive, and she can be manipulated, also Shantae has been corrupted by certain types of powerful magic before, so I think it's safe to say, yes, it would be able to work on her. So once the brainwashing smoke hits Shantae, she will most likely become paralyzed and her mind will go numb, probably in a similar way to being high on drugs. And while this trance is only temporary, it gives Ninjini more than enough time to immediately pop out of her bottle, pull out her wishblades, and slice Shantae's body clean in half. Or Ninjini could just do that while Shantae is belly dancing, cause Shantae is always left wide open and vulnerable to attacks while she's doing that. You know what, I think I've said enough to explain how and why Ninjini wins this showdown. So in the end, Ninjini has granted Shantae the wish of defeat. The winner of this battle is Ninjini.
Got any ideas for Show-Off Showdown? Then let me know in the comments below, and hopefully, I just might do them. Now stay tuned for the next episode of Show-Off Showdown!